Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Stop doing those diet or workout fads to lose weight. Use the tried and true approach from Rockin' That Ideal Life that helps you find balance while enjoying food in moderation and nourishing your body. Try the Lean 30 program at rockinthatIdealLife.com and let today be your last first day of your weight loss journey.
When buying or selling your home, you need to feel protected. Realtor Mike Burgoyne not only looks out for your interests, but as a St. Louis area police officer will make sure you feel safe and well-informed with every decision. Email Mike at strikewithmike.com and start the process today. That's Mike at strikewithmike.com.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
Let's have a Donnybrook.
Eric Brewer was so bad.
Are we like Oglethorpe? Are we suspended?
I reciprocated the dickness.
Selfish hockey.
That's right, selfish hockey.
What did I tell you about stick tape?
You don't need it!
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Welcome to episode 6 of season 13. This is episode number 437, all time of the often imitated, never duplicated, Here Come the Meat Sweats. We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast. Let's Go Blues Radio. Special thanks to our sponsors, rockinthatIdealLife.com, strikewithmike.com, and centericebrewery.com for, once again, probably sponsoring the show. Please check them out. Also, don't forget to check out the t-shirt shop at letsgoblues.com for the very best St. Louis Blues themed t-shirts at an unbelievably fair price. It is Wednesday, November 15th, and we're streaming live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and the Twitters. You can interact with the show on social media. Our handle on the socials is at LGB Radio. I'm Kurt Price, my co-host for The Big Shoe. Tonight are Bill Day and Jeff Ponder, and believe it or not, producer Austin is in the house, and he's also using no overlay right now, so he needs to get on. We have advertisers on there.
Oh, hold on.
I mean, Austin's.
I didn't.
The problem
know.
is we don't.
This is new to me.
Shut up, Austin. We when we have 4 people on screen, you can't really use it. So
yeah, no, you can't.
when he's on screen, we'll take it off, put it back on later. Okay. But hey, Austin's here. That's all that matters.
That's fine. Yeah, that'll work that way.
I kind of know what I'm doing, I think.
He lives.
Yeah, if you knew what you were doing, you should talk closer to the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we didn't go over this before.
I don't think the right mic is even on.
The right mic is not even on for Austin, so there you go.
We're
off to a great start here, guys.
This close to intern Austin. This close.
I'm glad somebody brought it up before.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
I'm glad somebody mentioned it before we started that it didn't sound off or anything, but no, it's okay. I appreciate
it. This is performance review season, and it's not going well.
This is the make or break season for my contract. If it's going,
we might have to let you go right before Christmas.
Did you notice how Austin, when things were going rough for the Blues, Austin's nowhere to be found, and all of a sudden that they're playing very.
You know what?
Well.
I'll just
here he is. All of a sudden,
is there such a thing as a fair weather producer?
Yeah, right. I will not produce when the Blues are losing.
Driving to Nashville to watch a Toronto Maple Leafs Predators game.
Did do that. Well, I mean, there was other points to that trip, but it was fun. That's a nice arena.
Bridgestone? Yeah. Oh yeah. Been there multiple times.
Yeah. Did they've got a top shelf area at the one end? Did you see that?
He was on the opposite end based on the photos that he posted.
Okay, because when we went there to watch the Blues and Preds play, when the Blues spanked the Predators, the top shelf area was like super crowded, and you couldn't get a spot anywhere close to the counter. So we kind of just walked by it, but I was curious if it was the same when you were there.
I don't know, but it's so different. Like, because Enterprise is you can throw any team in there and they can call it home, and Bridgestone is all shoving the Predators in your face, and it's like I don't. Yeah, it's weird. Also, the ceilings are very low, and I hated it.
Yeah, it's Enterprise is a little more cavernous there on the concourses, and yeah, I agree with you that there's not as much Blues branding as there is for the Predators in Bridgestone. But maybe that's because it's more cramped and more confined. It's like on top of you. I don't know.
It was probably similar to the Golden Knights when I went there for the preseason game this year. There was a lot, like you knew you were in the Golden Knights arena.
Yep.
There was stuff all over. Now, granted, it was their first game playing ever after winning the Stanley Cup, but yeah, you definitely felt it. You could see all around. They had it just looked like you were walking through corridors of a castle at certain points. So yeah, I think the Blues are probably one of the teams that are on the other end of the spectrum in the NHL as compared to, I think a lot of the newer arenas are doing that kind of thing now.
Well, it's like even when it was Scott Trade, they had they had the blue ceiling and the yellow stripe along the top. And then also the purple seating kind of matched or blended in, kind of looked like blue on TV and stuff. So I don't know. It's more of a neutral site, which I don't know. It's weird.
The agenda for tonight on the big show includes discussion about got some Hockey Hall of Fame inductees to discuss. Pierre Turgeon and Ken Hitchcock went in. Got a few recent games to talk about. Games against Arizona, Colorado, and Tampa Bay. O'Reilly plays 1,000 games. There's been an arrest in the unfortunate accident that led to Adam Johnson's death during a game over in England. And what else we got here at the very end? We've got that's it. All that and more on this episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. All right. Official drinks, beverages of this episode, number 437. You can follow each of us on the Untapped app. My handle is CPrice12. Jeff's is JPonder94, and Bill's is Billy Blue Note 33. Bill, what you got?
Well, I gotta stop fixating on Jeff trying to get his camera back in focus.
I got it.
You got it. Finally, third time's a charm.
Yep.
So I'm pre-gaming next Friday. Kind of. I'm starting to work my way into the heavier stouts again. So I've got I had a leftover maple mood from Boulevard, I believe.
Nice.
I didn't bring a bottle with me. My beer game's off right now, but maple syrup infused imperial stout. Really nice and sweet and high in ABV.
Speaking of stouts, I take it you guys saw what Four Hands just announced that they were releasing very soon?
The citywide?
No. I mean, yeah, although they have a citywide stout now, but the candy bar stouts. Have you seen those?
No.
Stouts?
Oh.
Stouts?
They have a Charleston Chew milk stout. It's like marshmallow. And
so this is going to be this year's version of the cereal ones they had last year?
Probably, and they sound a lot better.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the other two are. They're kind of like generic labels, same color as the real candy bar labels, but they're not using the actual candy bar names, right? But the one in the middle, Charleston Chew. Chocolate marshmallow. Ooh, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying one. And the other two, I'm not sure what they are. You can check them out. But Four Hands is. I think that's coming out this week. I think on the 20th, maybe something like that.
Check that out.
That'd be fun.
We might need to make a trip over there soon.
Yeah, sounds fun. Well, Austin, do you want to go next before Jeff? Sorry,
I have. Take a guess. Take a guess first.
Dr. Pepper.
Pepsi.
I'm gonna say White Claw.
Oh, Coke Zero.
Wow. Thanks,
You're
Kurt.
White Claw.
I appreciate
You're a White Claw kind of guy.
Crab juice.
A vagina. Thank
Shirley
you.
Temple.
Oh my.
Shirley Temple.
Bill, spot on. Bill's paying attention.
Oh, Dr. Pepper. That's the best.
Dr.
What
Pepper.
kind? Just straight
zero
sugar. Zero sugar.
What? Go ahead.
You
Jeff.
think a man in that kind of shape drinks anything other than zero sugar?
I mean,
Fuck you.
only
You look great.
only the best of the best
Mhm.
drink the Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Hey, since I've stopped playing hockey, I feel like I put on about 40 pounds, Austin. So I have no room
Yeah,
to
but
talk.
but half that's in your hair.
Well, that's true, and I did lose about 10 pounds just shaving the beard. So, yeah,
Well,
that helped.
you found like little small animals living in there. So that's
Yes.
why. Yeah.
But-
Some woodland creatures.
And honestly, wearing the orange and black, the Shen Flyers jersey, now you really have the Andre Poodle Lucier look down pat.
That's kind of what I was going for with the hair pulled back a little bit more too. Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's what I'm going for. All right, mine is Schlafly Pale Ale. I've had this on the show many times. English style, very, very good beer. Good sipping beer.
And it matches your jersey.
It does.
It does.
You got a
Yeah,
theme
for those
going
on the podcast, I am wearing my Flyers number 10 jersey. I'll show the people that are watching the show.
I would have guessed it was Syracuse Bulldogs, but I couldn't see the logo. Shen, nice.
Little Braden Shen action. The dude has been on fire. I had to wear his jersey tonight.
Very nice. And I'm gonna, Austin and I are two right thinking kind of guys because that's exactly what I have too. The Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
How about that?
I actually got turned on to the Zero Sugar line of products of, I don't know, 2.5 weeks ago, something like that. And I don't know if have you had the Zero Sugar stuff? It is actually really good. It tastes a lot like it is the best diet soda I've ever had in my life. And I hate diet soda. Hate it. I don't drink it.
I need to look it up, but I have actually been told by many people that it's actually not any better for you than regular soda. That the replacement for sugar is actually just as bad as sugar.
Well,
I have heard that as well, but I've heard that's not true. I've heard that was like an early study that's been debunked.
I am not going to sit here and claim that I know anything about it. That's what I've been told.
I heard the same thing, but I also heard recently that entire thing was not really true anymore. So
does it have sucralose or aspartame?
Sucralose.
Any artificial sweetener gives me a massive headache. Like
Yeah.
I can't even. If it has electrolytes, maybe that'll offset it. But like, I can't even drink regular. Like, I can't consume regular NyQuil now because they've started putting sucralose in it, and it just got to go with
sucralose.
the
sounds like
Target
a really bad Marvel villain.
Sucraloso sounds like he sounds like a Mexican wrestler.
I am sucralose.
Austin, have you had the Dr. Pepper cream soda, Zero Sugar? That's my favorite.
That one was good. I just finished through that about a week ago, so I went ahead and got that from Sam's, saving the money.
I've heard the studies that say that that there have been studies done that's, I've heard the same thing that you did, Jeff, where if you drink the diet soda and your body's tricked into thinking of seeing sugar but it's not getting it, and then it craves more sugar, that's not true. I've heard that people I heard the same thing you did, but then I did some more research. And I'm like, oh, that's apparently not true. So I thought
I get all my
you did
news
some more
from
research from the Sucralose Institute for Science.
Yeah, sponsored by Sucralose.
I get all my news from just reading Facebook headlines. So
I actually like.
Do you read the articles at all, or just the headlines?
No, just the headlines.
This actually has Olean in it. Remember Olean?
oh, that's a great Dolly Parton song.
Olean,
Olean.
Jesus.
We're all over the map.
Did anybody ever have any issues with the Lay's Olean?
No. Once I heard the issues people were having with it, I stayed the hell away from it.
Do you know what I heard about that? Is I heard that the people that would get the diarrhea from that in the test studies, that the rate of people that got diarrhea was not really any greater from those that ate the Olean chips versus the regular chips. The diarrhea just happened at the same rate, and some people got it like they would normally, and I think they made a big deal about it. I think that was a little overblown, maybe, from what I heard. That could be not true, but that's what I heard. But anyway,
Oh, Jaden Schwartz just fell on the ice. What a shock.
More that girl says, is Olene the same as Olestra?
Oh, that's a great Kubrick movie, The Olestra Steps.
We're not getting anything accomplished in this show.
I am
These
full
questions
of them
are
tonight,
We are
folks.
15 minutes in, guys.
Try the veal. I'm here all week.
Oops. Yeah.
No, I just got. No.
Yeah,
You
Matt
got to read
Harris
the
says,
comment first, Austin. We got
Yeah.
podcasters.
Matt Harris says, glad to hear the allegations against you were cleared, Austin.
They were.
I don't think they were. I
I'm
think
just running away.
He's just
They're not
out on bail.
It's allegation parole for Austin tonight.
The only reason Austin's here is we want people to tune in because they're just like, oh my God, they're letting in that guy who did that horrible thing back on the show.
Dude, do you want to see the giant tattoo on my back from prison?
Well, just show the ankle bracelet.
Is it like a Mad Lib? Like you can flex and it like changes?
No, it's a pair of badly drawn boobs.
Oh, boobs. All right, let's move along.
All right. Enjoy your guys' show. I'm going to stop ruining it.
You got it.
All right. Pierre Turgeon and Ken Hitchcock were inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame, which is okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to fix the overlay.
We
got it now. We're good.
I almost had like a seizure from those flashing overlays from on the screen.
We are off to an awful start. Okay, good night, everybody.
It is. I would imagine most people think that the Hockey Hall of Fame is the NHL Hall of Fame, when it is not. It is all of hockey. Wasn't hockey
there
world.
Somebody who argued that, was it last year? They said something on Twitter like, "This is the NHL Hall of Fame," and we were like, "No, it's not.
No, it's the hockey. It's the hockey world, the entire hockey world. The NHL is a large part of it, but it's not. There's a lot more to hockey.
It's because it's the highest league, which is why you're not getting players from the AHL being put in there, but you're getting women's hockey. You're getting the Russian Federation. It's the whole world.
Yeah. The entire list of inductees for the 2023 class are Tom Barrasso, Henrik Lundqvist, Pierre Turgeon, Mike Vernon, Carolyn Alouette, and Ken Hitchcock. And Ken Hitchcock and the family of Pierre Lacroix.
Don't forget Blues great Tom Barrasso.
Blues great. Yeah, how many games did he give us? Like 3?
I think 3.
Hey, Tom Barrasso is a legend for really normalizing the Aeroflex pad in the NHL. So in the goalie community, he is, I mean, apart from being, such a high draft pick, one of the highest drafted goalies at the time, and, having such great early years in Buffalo and really maintaining a great thing over the career, the Aeroflex pads, which your brother Keith used to wear.
He did. Yeah, they were, and they were a really nice set of roller hockey pads at the time.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got ass in his name, so that's worth calling out. No, I love Tom Barrasso. Actually, I remember as a kid.
You pronounced it wrong.
I guess what?
You pronounced his name wrong. It's Tom Barrasso.
Barrasso, right? No, when the Blues got him, was it like 2001-ish?
It was the year we had 13 goalies.
Yeah, right. I think that was 2002. I could be wrong on that, but either way, I remember being excited and my dad just laughing at me like, that guy's like ancient. Why are you excited to get him? And I'm like, because he's awesome. Pittsburgh Penguins, Stanley Cup. And yeah, he was a shell of himself at the time, but it was like Martin Brodeur when he came here. It was exciting because it was a guy that I grew up watching, and it was cool to see him in a Blues jersey. But either way, very deserving. Kind of surprised. I don't know. You guys surprised it took so long for him to get in? I thought he would have gotten in much sooner.
A little bit. Goalies tend to take longer. And this year, I mean, this year was the year of the goalie. I mean, Mike Vernon, that's a guy that, I back in the day, I would have argued never in a million fucking years should that guy be in the Hall of Fame. But, his ladder, he won a cup for the Flames. I think that was his rookie year, second second year when they beat Montreal in '89 and did it again in Detroit. I always hated him because he always played for my least favorite teams, but at the end of the day, he's deserving, and I'm surprised it took him this long. Lundqvist getting in this quick, surprised me.
Well, Brasso 6 games played for the Blues. He was 1-4. 16 goals against. 879 save percentage, 3.27 GAA. Not his worst numbers.
Was Mike Van Ryn the goalie coach?
I think Mike Van Ryn was probably on that team. What year was that?
He might have.
That was 02-03.
Yeah, so that was the year that we went through Cody Rudkowski.
You name all 6. Let's see if
Chris
Bill can name all 6.
Chris Beckford-Sue.
Yep. You got Tom Barrasso, so that's 3.
Reinhard Davis.
Yep.
Curtis Sanford.
Yep.
All right, and then Brent Johnson.
There you go. I believe that's correct.
Did you say all 6? There was 7.
There were 7.
There's one more. There's one more.
Who did you say? You said Johnson?
Rudkowski, Davis, Beckford-Sue.
Beckford-Sue's not on it. No, Beckford-Sue's not.
Was he the following year?
He wasn't 02-03.
The hyphenator?
Oh, you're right. It wasn't Beckford-Sue.
Davis.
Okay. So
you're missing a big one.
I don't want this to take the
Chris
whole show.
Osgood?
Chris Osgood.
Yes.
And then there's one more. He was the backup to start the season.
Fred Brathwaite?
There you go.
Okay.
I used him in Wordle or in Puckdoku today.
Yeah. I have his Oshawa Generals Junior card.
There you go.
That was the Eric Lindros set.
Did the Blues ever play the Sanford and Son theme song when Curtis Sanford was in it?
No, because my brother and I used to say that all the time.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Who's out of respect?
Yeah, they've had 2 Sanfords on the team. They haven't done that.
Red Fox.
That, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he specifically requested they not do that. But if they did,
they've had 2 Sanfords, and they haven't done it with either of them.
I don't understand that.
Yep. Curtis Sanford, friend of the show, by the way.
Friends of the show. Turgeon played 19 years and had stints with the Buffalo Sabres, New York Islanders, Montreal Canadiens, St. Louis Blues, Dallas Stars, and the Colorado Avalanche. The Canadiens dealt Turgeon to the St. Louis Blues early in the 96-97 season. The Blues sent Murray Barron, Shane Corson, and a draft pick to Montreal.
Great trade.
Yeah. He was so good for us, and I think underrated.
Yeah, he was.
We talked about him a lot being underrated when we did our all-time teams and stuff like that, and the draft picks, the fantasy draft we did. He scored better than 20 goals and 60 points in each of his 5 seasons with the Blues, including 30 goals and 82 points in the 2000-2001 season. He had 1,294 games played, 515 goals, 812 assists, 1,327 points. Was a plus 139 in his career. He had more points, 355, and games played, 327, with the Blues than any other franchise. So
he was dominant here. He was a top, would you say top 5 center at the time? I'd have to really dig into other teams, but I'd call him a top 5 center at the time.
Yeah. That the first year with Hully, they had some insane chemistry, right? And wasn't he so Keenan was out at that point? And that was one of Larry Plo's first moves. Is that right?
That sounds correct. I mean, you got to figure again. Thinking about top 5, we've got Sergei Fedorov of the Red Wings, Steve Yzerman, Joe Sakic. Man, who else would be up there? Peter Forsberg, I guess. A lot of these guys are on the same team. Yeah, Eric Lindros. I don't know. I think he makes an argument for top 5 with a lot of those names. I mean, Gretzky had kind of fallen off at that point. Lemieux wasn't playing that whole stint.
Well, he was Yeah, he 96, 97 was his first year here. So he overlapped with Keenan a little bit.
So Keenan would have made that trade.
Keenan was gone 33 games into the season that year, replaced by Roberts and then Quinville. So, yeah, and Turgeon played 69 games for the Blues that season.
Yeah.
Hold on. Played 9 games with Montreal. So,
yeah,
depending on when that trade went down.
Well, if Keenan was here after 30 games, it was a Keenan trade.
Yeah.
Man, now I'm thinking too. Dallas had Modano and Nieuwendyk.
Right.
Man, all these teams they had 1-2 punches.
They were stacked.
Yeah. But for the Blues, like purely if we say number one centers, basically, let's say Detroit can't have 2, Colorado can't have 2, Dallas can't have 2. I think you definitely get Pierre Turgeon in the mix at his stint here in St. Louis.
Can you name in 96, 97? Can you name other Blues centers? Yeah, Turgeon.
Adam Creighton.
He was gone by then.
Creighton was gone.
Craig Conroy.
Oh boy.
Well, think of who Keenan brought over too.
Yeah. Mike
Peter
Eastwood.
Zezel.
No Eastwood. Zezel's one. Got Harry York.
Oh God, the Harry York.
McTavish.
Hockey International superstar Harry York.
Yep.
Jamal Mayers.
He wasn't really a center though.
Yeah, I'm going by Hockey Reference. They list everyone as a center. It seems like.
Yeah.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Robert Petrovicki. Was that year?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep. That's some blast from the past. Some names.
Yep.
Man.
Well, anyway, well deserving. We've talked about it on the show a couple times. Very happy for Pierre Turgeon. Just a awesome hockey player. One of my favorites growing up.
Ken Hitchcock was the 4th winningest coach in history at the time of his Hockey Hall of Fame induction, with 849 wins, 534 losses, 88 ties, and 127 overtime losses. His career had stints with the Dallas Stars, Flyers, Blue Jackets, Blues, and Oilers through 22 NHL seasons. November 6, 2011, the Blues hired Hitchcock, and by the end of that season, he was awarded the Jack Adams Award as the NHL's Coach of the Year. The team turned around at Hitchcock, and he finished that year 2 points back of the winning the President's Trophy, and had a record of 43, 15, and 11. In the 15-16, the Blues went to the conference final, and on May 31st, 2016, Hitchcock announced that he would retire from coaching at the end of that season, yet he was unable to finish that season when he was fired in February of 2017.
Well, and then he came back and coached Edmonton after that.
Yeah, and he did, and he's actually still technically employed by the Blues as a consultant.
Yeah.
So, and I think Brube said yesterday or the day before that he talks with Ken Hitchcock a lot. So, because Hitchcock watches the games and always has advice and information and stuff to share. So, he's still an influence in the Blues organization to some degree.
Mike Schloman in the chat, might be a new live listener. He says, I believe he means Pierre, but he says Pete Turgeon was a stud.
Sneaky Pete.
Sneaky Pete.
Yeah.
That was the nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah. His I watched Hitch's and Turgeon's induction speeches, and Turgeon's I didn't realize he lost his daughter, one of his daughters, tragically at a very young age. So that was a surprise, but
I didn't know
he did talk fondly about his time in St. Louis and about McInnes and their carpooling to games and all the talks that they had. So that was pretty cool.
One of the things, every time I hear Turgeon's name, I always think of the Dale Hunter incident when Turgeon played for the Islanders in the playoffs, and he just destroyed Turgeon and dislocated his shoulder after Turgeon scored. I think it was overtime winning goal, game winning goal late in the third period, a winning goal, something like that. that was, I mean, if you look back on that and you look up on YouTube, it's there. That is one of the most egregious cheap shots ever.
Oh, yeah. That's
terrible.
I put that right pretty close, even though it was a much worse result for Steve Moore. I put that pretty close to the Bertuzzi incident because, I mean, he had no idea he was coming.
I think it's a distant third place behind Bertuzzi and Marty McSorley on Donald Brashear.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about later a little bit. Yeah, I think, I mean, checking the guy is, so long after the goal. He knows what Hunter was said at the time. He's like, I didn't realize he had scored.
Yeah,
bullshit.
I mean, it doesn't matter. The puck was nowhere near him anyway. You know, it was just, I mean, terrible play.
Yeah. Right. And that was the 93 team that, who knows, like I didn't Turgeon wind up missing the season or the series against Montreal.
I believe
Montreal went on to win the cup.
I believe so.
I mean, that was a very pivotal moment.
Yep. Okay. So we're due for a break. After the break, we're going to discuss the last few Blues games, kind of talk about how the Blues have been playing recently. You are listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio.
We'll return after these messages.
Every beer league hockey night, I grab my hockey bag and sticks and throw them in the trunk of my car, and the very next thing I do, I mix up a boost of energy courtesy of RockinThatIDLife.com. It's formulated to break up its delivery in 3 ways, which helps me get through all 3 periods of hockey. Phase 1 provides a rapid onset of energy, concentration, alertness, and motivation. By period 2, I'm receiving a dose of sustained energy, increased focus, metabolism, cognitive function, performance, and feelings of well-being, which I need with the way I play. In Phase 3, I'm getting fatigue protection without jitters and crash, an elevated mood, and a reduction of fluid retention to help me make the big play when it counts. This same triphasic approach helps me when I drink it during work hours or simply just for a pick-me-up when I need it. Try one of the 4 energy flavors by visiting RockinThatIDLife.com, but make sure to email Dustin at RockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a beer lover's dream for hockey fans. Based in St. Louis, Missouri, owner Steve Albers has been brewing hockey-themed favorites for thirsty sports fans since 2017. From the Beauty IPA to the Old Arena Lager, a cold, frosty, hockey-themed beer is just what the doctor ordered for hockey fans in St. Louis. Make sure to check your local beer store for Center Ice Brewery beer today. LGB. Let's go beer.
During the magical 2019 playoff run, I was in the midst of buying my current home. Every time I spoke with my realtor, obviously, home buying was the discussion. But in the back of my mind, I couldn't stop thinking about what was destined to happen for our St. Louis hockey team. If only there were a realtor who could have walked me through the process, held my hand when needed, but was there to be a sounding board when I wanted to complain about a certain hand pass goal. Let realtor Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage be that for you. He'll have your needs top of mind as he skates you through the home buying or selling process, dangling you past any obstacles and assisting on all your home goals. Check out strikewithmike.com for more information or give him a call directly at 314-753-4060. That's Mike Burgoyne with Real Brokerage at strikewithmike.com, and that number again is 314-753-4060. Don't forget to tell Mike that Let's Go Blues Radio sent you.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
Austin Lynch behind the scenes on the ball with that commercial break.
Yeah. It's like
Matt,
he never left us.
It is. So Matt Harris asked in the YouTube chat, y'all seen the PWHL jerseys? Absolute garbage. Only remotely good ones are Montreal and Toronto.
Man, I don't understand that because they're all the same fucking jersey.
Yeah. Yeah, they all. I mean, if you haven't seen them, I'm not even gonna bother putting them up on screen because they're just all plain striped jerseys with diagonal print from the city on the front, like the Rangers. I don't.
You know what the team names are, right?
Team Montreal.
Team Montreal. They don't have logos. They don't have anything.
They just came out with the PWHL logo like a couple weeks ago.
I don't understand.
Like, this league is a fucking mess out of the gate.
Do you know how easy it would be to hire somebody to just throw together some logos for your team and do some good ones? This is not a complicated process. They could do this.
They bought like naming rights for all the teams, what we believe they'll be, and those are even more disastrous without having team names. They're all terrible.
Aren't these like placeholder jersey designs for when they actually do have a yeah? So I don't think they're going to go. Are they going to actually use these on the ice? Because I don't know if they're going to be the other stuff's going to be ready in time. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have anything ready in time.
When is it?
They're rushing out of the gate. It's a joke that they had to cancel the PHF. They had to buy that out so they could build this league, and they didn't want to waste any time. And they just started going. And it's like, oh yeah, wait, we got to hire GMs. We got to name teams. We got to name cities. It's a disaster.
This seems like the easiest hurdle, though. You could name all the teams and come up with logos for all these teams in a week or less. This is not I mean, I assume it's more complicated with securing naming rights and things and copyrights and all that crap. But still, this is something that should have been a long time ago.
All right, have you heard what these possible team names are?
No.
So there's been applications to trademark certain names. Have you heard what they are?
No.
I'm not making this up. This is going to sound made up. It is not made up. Here's what is apparently in for trademarks: the Toronto Torch, the Montreal Echo, the Ottawa Alert.
I have heard some of these. Sorry. Yeah, I have.
The Minnesota Superior, the Boston Wicked, and the New York Sound. What? The Montreal Echo?
The New York Sound.
Let's go Echo.
The New York Sound isn't bad.
Right. I mean, and it sounds like they're all trying to be hipster.
But the Boston Wicked?
And Echo, well, no, Boston Wicked it's wicked. It's a wicked pissa. If you say it with the Boston accent, it works.
But you got to say pissa afterwards.
The Echo, unless it is like a desperate cry for expos, don't do it.
The Boston name doesn't make any sense unless you follow it up with pissa. You can't just say wicked.
Ottawa
you gotta say
Alert
wicked
is another one. What the fuck is the Ottawa Alert?
It's when children get abducted. It's what you get on your phone.
I guess. Yeah, it's an Ottawa Alert. Minnesota Superior. I mean, these are awful.
I mean, Superior.
Everything about this is awful.
Yeah, it's not not well thought out.
To me,
if you're interested in hearing some thoughts, I know our friend Dan Rice has a Around the Rink podcast he does with Ali Morse. He used to play in the PHF. And our friend Amanda Levier is going to be in this new league. I'm hoping to get her on at some point, but I'm wondering if the league will shut that down if they hear anything we say about this league, because my God, this is
she's going to play for
sputtered out of the game.
Minnesota Superior, right?
That's correct. Yeah. Which there's a long, rich history of the Minnesota Whitecaps. Before PHF even existed, there was a Minnesota Whitecaps organization that won a bunch of championships, part of the organization, just part of the history and the culture of Minnesota hockey. Why they didn't just take that name from the PHF and run with it, I'll never know. They had to make something new, had to make it their own. It's laughable. I
don't hate the Superior as much as some of the other ones. They are on Lake Superior, so there's the tie-in there. But
right. And you can go with the church lady quote: "Somebody's feeling just a little bit superior."
So if we ever get a team, are we going to be the St. Louis, Mississippi?
The Mississippis. It should be, right?
No, it's got to be the Mississippi, because no other team has an S in it.
What's better, the Superiors or the Superior? The Superiors is better, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So severe lack of creativity in this stuff. It's like they're trying to go. Maybe they're like just so forward thinking that they're like 10 years ahead of the curve, and all of a sudden these names 10 years from now will be cool. Maybe they're ahead of the game.
Nope.
I think this question was probably for Bill from Matt Harris. Have you seen the athletic article talking about the Bruins goalie coach using the shin lock? Would love a goalie perspective about it. Have you heard that, Bill?
I have not.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know how.
There's your homework.
I get 15 damn alerts from the Athletic a day, and I don't know how I missed that one. I'll check it out and give you my thoughts next week.
Homework.
Yeah, there's your homework.
Damn it. Our listeners are giving us homework now.
They are. Well, they're giving you homework, not
shin lock. What would that even be? Is that like a style?
I would think it's like the elbow lock, right?
Shin lock.
For elbow pads?
Yeah.
Equipment or like a style? Okay.
I would think it's an equipment thing, right?
Yeah, I will have to look into it. I'm hoping it's not like a chastity belt, because that would be bad. But
all right, Blues played a few games since our last show. They beat the Coyotes 2-1. Scott Brunovich got back in the lineup finally. Played 14:51 and had 3 block shots in his first game since October 27th.
And it's worth noting that it was not an 11-7 lineup. He actually let Perunovic play defense.
Him and Scandella in the third pairing. Hofer got the start in this game. Played well in this game. He's now 3-0-0 with a 1.34 goals against average and a .950 save percentage in his past 3 starts after allowing 6 goals on 42 shots and a 6-2 loss against these same Coyotes on October 19th. So a nice little revenge win for the Blues and Hofer to atone for the bad loss earlier in the season against Arizona. Which in this game, I didn't think this game was the best game by the Blues. I thought they kind of snuck out of there with a 2-1. I think Hofer played really well, but the Blues didn't really. I mean, it wouldn't have surprised me if they lost this game based on the way they played, but they did win.
What were your thoughts going into this game? I if you would have asked me, I probably would have said start Binnington, but after the fact, I was like, you know what? I like that he started Hofer. He gave him the opportunity to come back in a team that he just got shelled by and did not look good against. And he came back and let him get his revenge, and the Blues come out of that with a 2-1 win. I thought, obviously if it goes the other way, it blows up. Blues lose 6-1. We're probably saying, what a horrible decision by Berube. But I like this move. I like letting him kind of get his own revenge against the Coyotes.
I don't think there's there's an argument to make for both, right? You can start Binnington because of the bad game Hofer had against him last time, or start Hofer to give him a revenge game, right? And I'm sure as a goalie, as a competitor, you want a second crack at this team because you got lit up last time. So I'm sure, Bill, if you get lit up against one team, you want to get right back out there and show them that you're better than that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's absolutely the right call at this point in the season too, right? It's still early that you give the guy the rope to show you what he's got or that he doesn't have it. And I that was a decision, a rare time I will agree with the goalie decision by the Blues. Binnington's home numbers are just insanely good. So you probably would be leaning to him, but giving Hofer the that game and letting him prove himself, I think that was brilliant.
You know what I love about Hofer is, and I know we said this in 2019 about Binnington and even the year after, it's a different kind than Binnington. I feel like he's got this swagger about him that's just like, he's just got confidence. He exudes confidence, like the way he makes saves, the way that, he'll cover a rebound and just kind of pop up. Like, he just has this confidence about him on the ice. That's just, this kid, like, he isn't intimidated by anybody. You know, we haven't seen him play against a McDavid yet or anybody like that. But, I mean, still, like, I feel like any team that he goes against, he's going to go out there and he's going to skate out for the first lap and say, I'm coming out of here with the W tonight. And that's what I like about him.
This capped off a 3-1 home trip. Won 3 out of 4 on the home stand. Robert Thomas scored in his 5th straight game in this game. Shots on goal were 33-20 for St. Louis. Blue special teams, power play was 0 for 7. And the PK was 1 for 2. I think, it's amazing what winning can do to mask the ineptness of the special teams, right? Especially the power play. Because if Blues are winning, who cares? Power play is 0 for 4. It's, you win. A win's a win. But so at this point, the power play was still rough. They were like 1 for 35, I think, at this point in the season, which is like historically bad. I'd love to see the worst power play to start the season, the first 35 opportunities. This has to be among the worst ever.
I got to tell you what my father-in-law sent me. So he sent me, and this was after the 4 minutes and then the 5-on-3 in the middle of that. He said that Blues power play, double minor plus a 5-on-3 was a sign of an offensively challenged hockey team. And I just kind of responded saying basically, yeah, let's get somebody else out there. And then the Coyotes scored on the power play after that. And frustration, I know we all felt it. He texted me right back right when that happened and said, and with that power play goal allowed immediately afterward, I am quitting on this game in disgust. and I texted him back and I even said, hey, man, 2 periods left. And he's like, I don't care. And he even told me, even when he heard they were up 2-1, he's like, I'm not turning that game on. I'm protesting this game.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's frustrating. I get it. Like, you watch him have that many opportunities. I mean, Coyotes were just begging for them to score on the power play, and they just could not do
7 times.
Yeah. And God, that's Berube calling the timeout during the 5-on-3.
Yeah.
Right. That is like the most desperate thing that guy's done behind the Blues bench, and it didn't work. Yeah, thought for sure that game was going to go completely the opposite direction after that.
Puckeye 14, friend of the show from the Teal Town USA podcast, San Jose Sharks show, asked us what's the over-under for the Blues tomorrow. The Blues play the Sharks tomorrow night. And he goes, 8? I mean, the Sharks have almost made a habit of giving up 10 goals, right? So I'd be disappointed if they got less than 10.
Yeah, but
it's a trap game.
The good thing the good thing for the Blues is that the Schnarks got off the schneid.
Yeah,
Schnarks.
Yeah,
they got off the schneid before we got there, because we said this last week. If the Blues go there and the Sharks still haven't lost or haven't won, it's going to be us.
Yeah, I was happy to see them win.
Yeah,
before we got to them. Yeah, because that would have been like, oh my god, a lot of pressure, right? And it was they beat Philadelphia, right? The reverse win.
They beat Philadelphia and Edmonton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was
right.
And it's fun to see Edmonton lose at this point because of the mess that is Edmonton now.
That was really the game that cost Jay Woodcroft his job.
Well, did you see they're walking across the ice after the game, and did you see the camera caught Woodcroft talking to assistant? Read his lips. You could say, well, that was probably it, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Meaning he knew he was gone after that game.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Hey,
I watched
Speaking of the Oilers, just real quick, they were down 3-1 late and have forced overtime against Seattle tonight. So.
Yep, we're watching it. Hopefully, we'll see a nice goal here by Seattle because I love watching it burn.
I love the chaos too. Give me more.
I watched San Jose's game last night, and man, it was a goal frenzy in the third period. I thought they were going to pull it out, but just unfortunately came out on the losing end. I'll admit I wanted them to win because I'm like, okay, if they win, then there's a good chance they have a letdown game against the Blues. But yeah, I'll admit I'm a little concerned, man. I feel like this is a trap game.
Well,
this is going to be a game where you go in with all the confidence in the world and you give up a 5 spot.
Evander Kane game winner. Got the tying goal with 40 seconds to go. Game winner in overtime.
Seattle's sputtering a little bit.
Yep.
The next game for the Blues, they absolutely took the Avalanche to the woodshed.
Absolutely.
They took them out to the woodshed.
Get it?
Made them sit in the corner while they had sex with their wives. It was just they destroyed them.
Are you suggesting the Blues cucked the Colorado Avalanche?
Someone needs to make a meme, right? Take a screenshot from a porn where there's someone sitting in the corner, have the Avalanche logo over their face, and the Blues just going to town on their wife, making them watch. I mean, this was so much fun. Binnington gets back in the net. 2 hat tricks in this game. One for Schenn, one for Buchnevich. Both players. I mean, if you could have picked 2 players in this team to get a hat trick, to get them going, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Kyrou is up there too, but these 2 guys, right? Oh my gosh. Buchnevich been snake bitten this season, and Schenn just hadn't gotten on track. And all of a sudden, boom, they exploded in this game. And they just rolled over Colorado.
Well, and we talked about Brayden Schenn, 1 point in his first 9 games, and we thought, man, he looks like a shell of Brayden Schenn. He just was not. We didn't see the tenacity in the corners. We weren't seeing the back check. We weren't seeing the play starting, and we were all getting a little concerned there for a while. Well, 8 points in his next 4 games. He actually added another point against Tampa Bay, which we'll talk about later. But in this game, like you said, hat trick and an assist in this game, 4.9 for Brayden Schenn. And he's looked like a different player in these next 5 games, again, including the Tampa Bay game. And he's hustling, he's hitting, he's back checking, he's doing all the stuff you expect one of your leaders to do. And you got to hope this continues the rest of the season. But yeah, out of the gate, so slow, and it's made us so nervous. But, man, he's looking like a player wanting to rejuvenate himself a little bit the last couple games.
Yeah, the early season, he was the weight of the sea seemed to be too much, but no longer. He's really just busting out right now.
Right now, there isn't a team out there that I could have been more giddy about the Blues hanging 8 goals on than the Avalanche.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree.
You know, it's the Predators. Yeah, I hate them. Hawks, obviously, but you know, the Avalanche. Just, I mean, you still have that bitterness from the playoff series a few years ago, with the water bottle bullshit. They are the team that I want the Blues to beat more than anyone else right now. More than Dallas, more than anybody else, more than Vegas.
More than Chicago.
More than Nashville. Yeah. Absolutely Colorado.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. So, and another nice revenge win to avenge an earlier loss in the season. The Blues lost 4-1 to the Avalanche on November 1st. So, Arizona, nice revenge win. Colorado, real nice revenge win. Buchnevich, we talked about 3 goals, had 2 shorties in there as well. He's the 3rd player in Blues history to do so. Last one was a Michael Handzus, February 15th, 2000 against the Thrashers, and Larry Patey, November 2nd, 1980 against the Blackhawks. So, and the third.
And and we'll add too, the Buchnevich, 3rd player in the past 20 years to score a power play goal and a shorthanded goal in the same game. Last one to do that was Zach Sanford, Sanford and Son. Remember them always playing that song every time he hopped over the boards. March 1st, 2021. And then, of course, Andy McDonald, November 14th, 2008. So pretty elite company there for Buchnevich. That'd be a heck of a line right there. Sanford, McDonald, and Buchnevich.
Bednar, after the game, said, it was quoted, "The 3rd period was a joke. That was the worst period I've ever seen from our club. We're getting outplayed. Goaltenders getting outplayed by their goaltender. Forwards getting outplayed by their forwards. D are getting outplayed by their D. And I'm like, yes, give me more of this, more of these.
Well, and it was
comments.
what 4-1 going into the third.
Yeah.
So it I don't want to say that's a close game, but it's not like completely out of reach to say Colorado if they have a strong third period at least force overtime. But the Blues just came out rolling.
They didn't sit back.
Colorado looked like an AHL team.
Yeah, but once they made the goaltending change and brought in Prosvetov, he
played well.
He played extremely well. Thank God.
They could have 10 goals.
Right. Thank God that he didn't start that game. Otherwise, I think it's a totally different story.
For some reason, he seems to have the Blues number.
Yeah, Georgiev's off his game right now, and getting to play him, perfect timing for the Blues. And, my favorite game of the last 2 seasons for sure.
I loved how the Blues didn't let up. They're up 4-1.
Oh yeah,
it's easy to up 4-1 in the third period. Hang on to this, go into a shell. Play solid D and just get it out. Chip it out. One forward deep. That's it. But they didn't do that. They kept the pedal down and they just hammered Colorado in the third period, and it was amazing. I just giddy third period. Right, it's fantastic. Torey Krug, a goal and assist in this game. I mean,
yeah, I was going to say the defense was activated, and listen, we could sit here and talk about how bad Tyler Tucker was his past couple games, but that's not where I'm going with this. Scott Perunovich adding in that other element from Scott Perunovich on the back pairing has been, I think, a very nice addition to this team, and I hate to say. Berube, Jesus Christ, everyone saw it but you.
I know.
But that kind of is where we were at. We're like, everybody's thinking Perunovich needs to get his ass in there. And he gets in there, and look, Blues rattle off 3 wins in a row. This game, I thought, again, the defense activated every play. It was always Parayko or Krug or Falk or Perunovich stepping into the play. And I will tell you what. I'll tell you what. I think Marco Scandella has played much better with Scott Perunovich at his side.
Yes.
I think it has allowed him to kind of sit back a little bit more and be like, all right, let Scotty move up to the play. I'll kind of play back, and that way nobody's going to get by us. We're not going to give up any breakaways. There might be an odd man rush or two, but we'll see. But with Perunovich just quick feet and Scandella being kind of the anchor back there, I don't hate that bottom pairing. I think Scandella last 3 games, best we've seen from him in 2 years.
I think Scandella's been able to play big. Like you said, he's going to hang back, just play a big game, right? And he's been noticeably better. And I mentioned a minute ago, Krug got a goal and assist. And it's funny, and next game too, Krug played well, had 2 more points. And all of a sudden, like the media is talking about how well Krug's playing. He's been playing well all season, right? Defensively. He wasn't getting the rewards in the offensive zone as of yet, but the points are coming. I thought they'd come eventually, and they have. But now, since he's putting up points, you see the media talking about how well Krug's playing all of a sudden. And it's like, no, he's been good all season. And it's so stupid to me that a defenseman is only recognized as playing well when he's putting up points. And I know Krug is supposed to put up points here, but still, he should have been getting credit for how he was playing defensively this whole season so far, because he's been much better.
Oh, I got toasted on social media because of it. Because I suggested that look at his defense. He's playing better defensively. No. Oh, he's an offensive defenseman. I mean, we talked about it on the show. I don't need to rehash it. But that's what I'm like, come on, just watch his play. The points will come when you're playing better in your own zone. Like, you need to take the small victories and see, okay, Torey Krug is breaking up plays, getting the pucks to the forwards, joining the play, not getting caught as much. He was still a little bit. But that was my point, I'm like, the points are going to come if you start playing better positionally. And that's exactly what he was doing. And now we're reaping the benefits offensively because he's figured out the back end of his game. Now it's translating to being able to get up there in the rush and get points. And I don't know. I just kind of wish I could, like, all those assholes on social media that toasted me. I want to go back to each one of them and just be like, can you understand what I was saying now? Good Lord.
It is a nice sense of satisfaction being right, isn't it? I mean, just about stuff like this, when you get roasted and you just revisit it and you're like, I was right.
I might do that. I might go back tomorrow to that when I got toasted by everybody and just be like, yeah, you know what? What do you think now?
Well, and like Binnington, like this season compared to last, how many times last season do we say you put a capable average to above average defense in front of him, his numbers are going to be so much better. And what's happened this season? The defense has been noticeably better, big time.
Yes.
And what Binnington's like top 5 in all the tons of categories,
right,
in the NHL.
Best home numbers of any goalie.
Yeah.
And you guys have inspired me. Yeah, you guys have inspired me. I'm gonna tweet at Craig Budden about Colton Parayko.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, there's just so many nice turnaround stories to talk about this season, and how that domino effect affects everything else. The defense playing so much better just makes everything else. I mean, you figured the offense would come around eventually because they were in a funk to start the year, bad. You think, man, that should have been a decent strength for this team, but now they're coming around. Defense is playing well, goaltending is playing well, offense is clicking, and they're running over teams right now.
Do you guys know Toronto, who is the home of Mike Van Ryn, who's their defensive coach, where they rank in goals against so far this season?
I have not looked.
It's
7th most.
Yeah.
3.53. I mean, listen, not going to put all the blame on Mike Van Ryn. They've had some issues in goal. Defense has always been a little suspect in Toronto, but I'm just saying, I don't think that guy's helping.
Well, we talked about how did he get a job so quick? He was not good here.
Because it's an old boys club.
Oh, man.
That's it. He had a job in the NHL. He won a Stanley Cup. Of course he's going to get another job. Look at Mike Yeo.
Right. I was going to say Mike Yeo still has a job in the NHL.
Mike Kitchen got a job as an assistant, under Quenneville.
Yeah. His biggest thing, though, is because he kind of followed Quenneville.
Right. Yeah. And he was great as a lieutenant. The Blues D under Kitchen was just that they were very, very good. He just had no idea how to run the other side of the hockey team, and got laughed out of town.
So, Robert Thomas had 4 assists in this game. NHL career high point streak of 6 games. He had 5 goals, 5 assists over that span. Shots on goal were 42-38 St. Louis in this game. Special teams came around 2 for 4 on the power play, 3 for 3 on the PK. And the Avalanche have now lost 5 of the last 7 after this game. And they've allowed 38 goals in the past 9 games. So they're
let's talk about that power play. Well, that's a great stat. First of all, love seeing that. Fuck you, Colorado. But did you guys see what Buchnevich did when they scored that first power play goal?
Took the puck.
Mm-hmm.
He
took the puck.
Yeah.
And they asked him after the game why he did that. And he said, it was kind of a joke that we've been so snake bitten that when we score again, we need to take the puck.
I did see that.
I'm like, yes, that is such a hockey player thing.
I did see it. I'm like, what's that about? That's that's not a milestone.
At first
goal.
I thought, I'm like, okay, what milestone am I missing? Like, was that his, certain number of assists or power play point? And then I'm like, oh, okay, that's hilarious. But either way, I thought in the Arizona game, listen, they didn't score, but there was some decent, and I'm actually not even talking about the 5-on-3. I thought later in the game, there was some decent puck movement by the Blues. And I thought, man, now it's just a matter of time. Like, maybe they don't score this game, but they're going to score this week. Like, I even thought, I'm like, we're going to go on Let's Go Blues Radio on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking about how the Blues scored some power play goals. And I thought in this game, right when the power play started, they started moving the puck around better. And then, of course, they get a couple goals, 2 for 4 on the power play. That is very respectable.
Sure.
Happy to see that. And again, just the fact that they're kind of having fun with it now, too. Like, they score the goal, Buchnevich gets the puck. They all had a good laugh in the locker room. Like, oh, my God, you actually got the puck.
The first 3 or 4 games a season, the power play looked awful. It just looked bad. But after that, I thought it was coming around. They'd get more zone time. They were moving the puck around better. They'd get more chances. They just weren't putting the puck in the net. I thought it was slowly getting better without the results. And now it's hopefully clicking.
Right. They really bottomed out. We talked about the 5-on-3 against Arizona, right? That was the bottom, right? And they have rebounded very well since then. And it's the old cliche, just get the first one. The rest are going to come, right? And that's very, very true in hockey.
So the
ketchup bottle, right? The old ketchup bottle.
Yep.
Somebody's got to stick a knife in there, right? Get it out. Stick a knife in the eye and twist
right.
it.
Just pat the back, pat the bottom.
What's the line from Armstrong?
Yeah,
you got to stab him in the eye and
twist it,
whatever.
Yeah.
The Blues shut out the Lightning in the last game, 5-0. Won their third straight for the first time this season. I thought this was a huge test coming off, not because the Lightning, are the Lightning, but because the Blues were just coming off that hugely impressive win versus Colorado. The next game, you don't want to come out flat or have a letdown game because you got 2 teams back-to-back that will be tough games. And they just lit up Colorado. And then to come and play very well against Tampa Bay, Binnington played very well early to shut them down, and then the Blues got on the board, and then they just didn't look back. That was a fantastic follow-up game to the Avalanche game. And so they should be, obviously they're probably flying high right now, which you talk about a letdown game as a real possibility against San Jose, right, coming up. But, it might have been a good thing to have a team like Tampa Bay right after the Avs, because if we played San Jose last night as opposed to the Lightning, maybe maybe they're overconfident or something. I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow, right? How they play against San Jose.
But also catching San Jose before Vasilevsky's, back. He's very, very ahead of schedule. The fact that he was on the ice over Sunday and Monday, I was like, oh shit, don't even get in that game.
Yeah,
because Johansson's been good but not great, and so getting
he's had some games, and I thought he played fine last night. Just the Blues just kept coming.
Yeah. And they you could say, well, they didn't have Vasilevsky. Blues scored 5 goals, but they shut him down. Defensively and in net, they didn't allow Tampa Bay anything, even though they had some chances. But Binnington was good.
Yeah, all they needed was one.
Yeah, early on, especially. Yeah, because they were pressuring early. They had some chances early, but then the Blues got the first goal, and it's like, oh man, here we go again. Right, getting the first goal, it's big.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. What about those hands from Parayko though?
Oh my God!
The
first
touch
goal
on that shot.
Oh my God, that was.
You know what that reminded me of, and it wasn't the same move, but it reminded me just of the way that he used to do that kind of thing. Do you guys remember early in the 18-19 season when they went to overtime against the Avalanche, and he pulled a move to go back and cut a back and cross in front of the net and roofed it? Just a beautiful individual play. And I remember even like last year, just thinking, what happened to that Colton Parayko? And again, this was not the same type of play, but seeing the hands and the wherewithal to like cut outside and then go to the forehand and shoot right away and trick Johansson. I think he was thinking he was going to pass it in front and just get that shot off, put it right where he needed to. Vintage Colton Parayko, and he is just, God, he's been good.
And we've been hoping for that. That we talked about earlier this season when we noticed that, wow, hey, this looks like the Parayko of old. The Parayko we saw 3-4 years ago when he was like dominating the ice and carrying the mail up the ice and creating chances on his own on the rush, using his speed, right, and creativity. You got to wonder, surely something. He's been so much better this season than the last. It's almost like something had to have healed, or something had to have gotten better, or he just feels better, or something. It can't just be,
or we've got
he's just playing
or
better.
we got some kind of change in coaching that led to a style that allowed him to play the way we know he can.
That too, which we were calling for how long?
I'm sorry, I was even calling for that in the Cup year. Like, I just don't understand why that guy was still coaching as long as he was. But yeah, I mean, we talk about his offense and the way he played, jumping into the play. Tampa Bay couldn't get shit going with him on the ice. Kucherov, man, there was a lot of times that dude looked like he was getting ready to work the Blues defense. And then Parayko would just step up, either poke check, make him go to the outside, and then take him into the corner. I mean, how many times did you say last night? I know you guys were like me. How many times did you say, oh, what a play by Parayko? Or like, oh, he's right where he needs to be. Like, there was a couple times where there'd be a rebound or a guy would pass in front and Parayko would be right there and his stick would be right in the lane. And it's just, where was this last year and the last 2 years? I mean, it's insane how good he's playing. And we're only 14. I feel like we still have to say the small sample size thing. Man, 14 games in.
I don't think so.
This defense looks so much better.
It's night and day. I wouldn't even chalk it up to a small. They've played some really good teams, and they've looked good against a lot of them. I'm sold on this team, this defense being much better than it was last season and the season before.
Right. I mean, just overall, this is the time of year that I usually just fear for the Blues, right? You get into that period just before Thanksgiving. It's the doldrums, right? That the reality of the length of the hockey season is set in. And, it's like that, seasonal affective disorder for the rest of us. Shit, I got to keep doing this for a very fucking long time. I don't want to do it. And this team is starting to click, right? And it really feels to me like they were building from the beginning, right? They had to find their way, right? And now, things are clicking, and thank God it's clicking with Perunovich. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. Hopefully we can stick with this lineup for a little bit, but it feels completely different from the last couple of seasons where it's like, well, let's see how we are by the time we get to Thanksgiving. We're trending in the right direction. And that this is the time of year that, it's still early, but God, the positive vibes right now around this team are just such a welcome change from the last 2 years.
Well, and this is going to sound so remedial, but like, don't they just look quicker and more refreshed than we saw even 5 games ago? I mean, I said that Winnipeg loss, like, tough loss, but I thought they played pretty well except for that third period. They obviously have had 3 really good games here. And we've seen slight flashes of it, but like, I think even a guy like Kevin Hayes, early in the year, we were basically saying, bench the guy. Why is he even playing right now? But dude, I don't want him out of the lineup right now. He looks quicker. He looks like he's hustling to pucks more. He's going into the corners and causing a disruption with the defense. He's playing that Berube style, and he's gelling with his teammates. He's not sending a pass 10 feet in front of Kyrou or whoever he's with. Like, this team just looks good right now. And it's crazy to say that even just, again, 5-6 games ago, we were like, who is this team? I hope this is us starting to figure it out.
They were so like one game get a win, one game get a loss. They'd look good one game, not as good the other. But it was like they were Jekyll and Hyde kind of a team for the chunk of the season so far. But hopefully they figure some things out. Torey Krug, 2 more assists in this game.
Two
incredible
2 more assists. Holy shit. Highlight reel assists.
Yeah. I loved the pass to Verana. I'll tell you what, that you talk about a goal scorer's goal from Verana, that, I mean, you can't catch and release a pass and a wrist shot better than he did. I mean, he all in motion, receive, whip, shoot, and he puts that thing upper corner. There is not a chance in the world any goalie anywhere makes that save. He put it where nobody could get it, and it came 19 seconds after the goal before, and it was like it was just amazing.
And a perfect pass on that one to Kyrou.
Great pass by Krug, but Kyrou reading that play and knowing he had that ice and that Krug would hit him. That just probably the best 19 seconds of the last 2 years for this team.
Dude, I will say, I mean, and this is going to sound insane, but like that connection in that goal, like you said, the Krug to Vrana, that was Lemieux to Yager. That was Gretzky to Curry.
Yeah.
Like, that was an insane connection. He put it right in Vrana's wheelhouse, and Vrana that guy, when he gets it right where he needs it, there's no missing with that guy. I can see why he was drafted so high. It was beauty.
The pass couldn't have been any more perfect, because if that pass is a foot farther forward or back, Vrana can't corral it like he does. It was perfect. Absolute perfect pass. Binnington had 30 saves for his 13th career shutout, which ties Roman Turek for 5th all-time. The Blues. Next on the list for shutouts is Glenn Hall, who has 16. Robert Thompson.
So three more, right? That's 13. Yeah,
yes,
13. So 3 more. I think you know what? Going into so if you would have told me going into this game after the Colorado game, I would have called you a liar. I went into that third period thinking, and I haven't thought this for a Blues team since the Hitchcock era. Tell me if you guys thought the same. I even thought going into the third period, no way Tampa Bay scores in this game. Like, I haven't had that thought in so long, because this defense has been so suspect. It doesn't matter how good the goalie's playing. The defense has been so bad that I'm just like, okay, they might have a shutout with 10 minutes left. They're still going to score. I really thought going to third period, I'm like, I even said out loud, I'm like, I haven't had this feeling in forever. The Blues aren't going to give up a goal this game.
Robert Thomas had an assist in this game, extending his career high point streak to 7 games, which is he's got 5 goals, 6 assists in that span. Shots in this game worth.
It really can't be stated enough how good
he's been. Really good.
Yeah.
Shots 30-29 for Tampa Bay. Special teams were no power plays for the Blues. 2 for 2 on the PK.
So let me ask you guys this, and I'm not trying to dog anyone.
There was a power play, wasn't there, in that game?
No,
the
Blues did not have a power play.
I thought they had one.
There was, I will say, I thought in the third period, Tampa Bay got away with a lot. And I wouldn't normally say that because I think both teams get away with a lot in a game. But I thought, man, they really were pushing like, okay, Tampa really should have had at least 2 penalties in this period. They're really dogging the Blues on pucks. There was a cross check at center. I think it was on Kyrou, maybe by Paul. And I just thought, man, come on, you got to call something at some point. But at that point, the Blues were already up like 3-0, and then we're going to call it. But I wanted to ask you guys, and again, not dogging anyone here. Jordan Kyrou, I think, has played better with Shen and oh hell, who the hell's his line mate? Shen. God, people are yelling into their phones right now. Saad, yeah. I thought he's played better, but I think especially since they broke up Thomas Kyrou, Robert Thomas has looked so much better.
Yeah. Kapanen and Bushnevich are just a lot. Kyrou, I think, has always tried to be the guy that gets behind the D. And, Bushnevich and Kapanen have been doing a great job of just being, finding open spots in the zone, not trying to get behind the D all the time. And I think that's worked out very well. And just Robert Thomas being on top of his game and, being willing to dominate the center of the ice. He can do it, and he's taking advantage of it.
Yep. The Blues have now won 3 straight and 4 of 5, and that was Tampa Bay's 3rd straight loss. Jordan Binnington Among goalies with 6 or more games played this season, Binnington is currently fourth, before tonight, fourth in save percentage with a 9.30 save percentage, 10th in goals against average with a 2.27. And for those who care about advanced stats, he's second in goals saved above expected, 5th in high danger unblocked shot save percentage with 8.61, 6th in low danger unblocked save percentage with 9.80, and 2nd in wins above replacement with 1.65. So it's amazing what a capable defense can do for a good goaltender. Right?
Yes, very much so.
And this is, again, guys, I hate to always do this.
Hi, Jeff's mom.
Give yourselves a little pack here, right? Oh, my mom. Hello, Mom. She tried texting me during the show, and I was like, I'm doing the show. Leave me alone.
And of course, you can't do that.
No, of course. So she had to jump on here. Mom, why don't you go ahead and tell the whole world whatever it is you wanted to text me about. I'm kidding. Don't do that. No, I pat yourselves on the back a little bit here, guys. The fact that, I mean, come on, how much did we, and we got in fucking Twitter argument after Twitter argument with people like, watch this team and tell me that any goalie in NHL history would be able to play with this defense. I mean, I'm sorry. I know Grant Fuhr had some bad defenses in Edmonton. Don't get me wrong, but his team also had the puck a lot. Mm-hmm. And the Blues didn't have the puck a lot last year. So that defense got really exposed really quickly. So to say that Binnington had a bad year last year, no way.
I mean,
she did it.
It's so apparently, So from Jeff's mom, she got Shay a new hoodie.
That was funny.
So there
Mom.
you go.
Good work. You guys see where I get my comedic genius from.
Congratulations to Shay for scoring the new hoodie.
Yeah, baby.
So Brian Roberts made a comment that was kind of funny, referring to the Krug pass to Verana, that if Tarasenko got that pass, a stick would have gotten in the way. I think what would have happened if Tarasenko would have received that shot, he'd have tried to dust it off. Receive the pass, right, dust it off, take the shot, and then the goalie's over in time to make the save. That was a vintage. I don't want to knock Tarasenko too much for stuff, but because he was a fantastic player for a lot of years for us. But if you could knock him for one thing, sometimes he took a lot of time to get a shot off with dusting that fucker off, and it would
trying to be too perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I feel like he finally started one-timing it after he came back from that season-long injury.
He tried.
But
like, it still wasn't great, but at least he was like, every now and then he would hit it perfect. Yeah. It's like,
I think early on,
what we needed from you all along.
It was like the first or second game back. He ripped a one-timer, upper glove, something. I was like, holy crap, where's that coming from?
And then he just got back into his bad habits of dusting it off and trying to have the perfect shot every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a Senators game the other night, and same thing. He had a 2-on-1. Got a good pass, and he dusted shot. Goalie came over, slid over, made a beauty glove save. It was a great save, don't get me wrong, but it was like, one time that shit, that's going to the back of the net.
Like you said, Jeff, we can pat ourselves on the back for Binnington. I think the numbers are he's playing well, and people are noticing it. It's partly because of the defense in front of him too. So I think it was Tampa Bay. We saw a backdoor pass get through, didn't we? They just missed it. I've seen.
That was Tampa.
It was Tampa.
Yeah.
Saw one backdoor pass get through that I can remember this season, and they just missed. And
it was on the power play.
I think it was. You're right. So that's a little different.
Yeah, it was, but it was in so tight where it was. Like
Binnington may have gotten a piece
on the tape.
Binnington may have gotten a piece of it too.
He might have.
But the thing is that's been an outlier this season. Last season, you were seeing 3 of those a game, and 1 or 2 were going in.
Again, I go back to, I've said this a million times, October 31st, rewatch that game against the Kings. He had 5 backdoor chances on him in one period, and he gave up 3 goals, and people were pissed. He's got to make the big save sometime. He made 2 huge backdoor chance saves. Like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I for as long as I've been a Blues fan and as long as, I've been on social media and discussion forums and talking, it seems like goaltending is a position that nobody understands, right? So many people just don't understand goaltending, and they just, I mean, the goal goes in, should have had it. Oh, he allows 4 goals in a game. You got to stop a couple of those. I mean, are you going to even look at these goals to see how they went in or why they went in? Because, I mean, sometimes the goalie has no chance because of the play in front of him. And advanced stats don't tell the whole story. They never have. They probably never will. So,
well, I will tell you, I mean, this reminds me of one time we lost a playoff game 8-1 when I was younger. I was in my early 20s, and I came home. I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time, who was not a huge hockey fan. I told her we lost 8-1, and she goes, "Oh man, your goalie must really suck." And I just laughed. I go, "Actually, I really sucked. I was on defense. I played awful."
What was your?
And she goes, "Yeah, but your goalie's got to make some of those saves." And I'm like, no. If you watched, you would disagree.
What was your girlfriend's name?
I don't want to say it.
First name.
You don't remember it, Jeff. You don't remember
Jen.
it.
Jen. Okay.
Jen. I did date 2 Jens,
Was
so
she-
I'm allowed to say it. I
Was
guess.
she hot?
She was all right. She wasn't bad. She's not nearly as hot as my
There you
wife.
go. There you go.
Correct answer. Correct.
There you go.
Answer.
I could see the.
I pulled that
could
one
see
out.
the smoke
Pulled
come out of
that
his
one
ears.
my
He was
sleeve.
thinking.
What can I say that will not get me in trouble?
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that out there to see where it went.
Yeah. So with Brian Roberts says in the chat, his biggest thing with Binnington is, can he control himself when the team plays bad in front of him, right? And that's the thing. He is the antics that were talked about so much coming into this year. He's very emotionally even keeled this year. Hasn't shown any really bad negative emotions. And it's hopefully a sign of maturity. There have been some frustrating games, but I don't know.
I just want to add real quick. Mike Leon has a great response here. Leon, we will get to Mr. Devan Dubnyk's comments in a little bit.
I think too that how many times has Binnington have his antics came out to play? I mean, it's not every time the Blues have a bad game in front of him or he allows a handful of goals. It's not like it's every time or most of the time. It's a select handful of times that are memorable, right? Where he's kind of lost it a little bit and has antics. So it's not like, and I think we'll talk about Dubnyk a little bit where he kind of touches on that. And I'm like, he's given the impression that Binnington does this all the time. I'm like, no, he doesn't. He just, when he does it, it's notable because you don't see goalies really do this that much. But when he does it, it's a big deal. It's rightfully so because it's interesting, right? Anything a goaltender does is hella interesting. Goalie fight, holy shit, it makes the highlights for the end of the season in the NHL.
Well, I saw, and I'm going to leave this up for Bill for the rest of the show, this comment here. Ken Morris says, Bill Day does a great job on the insight into the mind of a netminder. Yeah, I agree. That's why that's the only reason Bill's on the show. We're not friends with him at all.
He's our backstop.
We're not, we don't like Bill that much. We just do him for his goalie insight. But no, I was going to say, I saw somebody respond again, this Devan Dubnyk talk we'll get to later, but somebody responded. It was a Bruins fan that I saw that said, yeah, now ask Dubnyk about Jeremy Swayman. And because if you pay attention to Jeremy Swayman, he's a little bit of a hothead too. But for some reason, nobody has said a word about Jeremy Swayman. And I have to think it has to do with Binnington having that swagger his first year and winning the cup, doing the thing, having all the talk with Bieber, making the All-Star game the next year. He was on top of the world there for about a year's time. And I think it pissed off other fan bases because he was beating them. And now that he had a couple rough times here and there and he kind of lost his shit, all of a sudden he's public enemy number one.
To be honest, how much of a hothead a goalie is, like if he's more of a hothead like Swayman might be, I like it. Bring it. I love it. I love the extracurricular, nothing dirty. I'm not saying go out and chop a guy's head off, but give me the passion and the goalies that care. And that's what I couldn't stand about Jake Allen at times. Like he was in net and didn't act like he gave a shit. Like something happened, he just stands there. He's not doing anything. Doesn't show emotion.
So one of my favorite players to ever wear this logo, Philadelphia Flyers, Ron Hextall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I love the way that dude played.
Hexy was over the line for me. Like
yeah,
but entertaining though. Entertaining. There you go.
Entertaining as fuck. But you also got that from my favorite player of all time, Patrick Waugh. Right?
Yes. Oh man,
true.
Right. He was a character. I love watching Waugh play.
Yeah.
And he was a hothead,
right? Innumerable highlights,
sure,
right? The Dino Cicerelli chop to the balls.
Oh yeah,
this is one of my favorite sequences in hockey history, right? But he was a guy that used his emotion to pump up his team, and I really think that's what Binnington was always trying to do, right? He's trying to channel these goalies from a past era, and that's not like what goalie in the last 20 years has been an emotional leader for the team, right? Most of them have been very stoic and the even keel kind of guys, and that's really, I think, what you need to be in this day and age in the NHL, and maybe Jordan Binnington figured that out. That said, if Marc-Andre Fleury wants to challenge him to a fight, let's see it. I want to see that this year. We got robbed.
Yeah.
We really I said this at the time. Every hockey fan got robbed because Blues fans wanted to see, okay, let's see Binnington kick some ass and shut up the rest of the league. And then the rest of the league wanted to see Binnington get his ass kicked. Mm-hmm. So every fan got robbed because of that. Read the room.
I don't think anything. I'm trying to think in my mind, what has Binnington ever done on the ice that I thought, man, I wish he wouldn't have done that. And I guess you can maybe say swinging the stick at the head of Marchand. It was Marchand, right?
No, it was the Wild.
I thought it was the Sharks.
I thought that was a Wild. Yeah.
Either way, it doesn't
correct
really matter,
us.
I guess.
Correct us.
Yeah, in the chat. Who was that? Anyway, it doesn't matter. And look on replay, he's like 5 feet away from his head. It was a weird thing to do. He wasn't trying to hit him. It's kind of like the fake punch to Carlson. That was the Sharks play, the fake punch. Right.
You know who it was?
So who was it?
Nazem Kadri.
That's right.
Avalanche.
Kadri. Yeah.
Yep.
So and the fake punch to Carlson, people make a big deal about it. And he fake punched Carlson. Who fucking cares?
Right. That is the only one.
He punked him.
I really think the stick swing, the only reason I don't like it is because sometimes when you're swinging a stick with one hand on it, especially, you do lose control of it. So he easily could have popped him in the face. That's the only reason I did not like. Yeah, but I'm saying maybe it flies out of his hand.
Yeah.
You don't know what could happen.
It's not the smartest thing to do, but I think it's one of those things where it just got blown out of proportion because people see one angle, and from one angle it looks like he just misses him, but in the side angle, he missed him by quite a bit. He wasn't trying to hit him; he was trying to just, I don't know, give him. It's just a fuck you, is what it is.
Yep.
Anyway, whatever. We've rehashed that before.
We'll talk later a little bit more about this with Dubnyk, but I wanted to throw one stat out before we move into what's next up for the Blues. I don't know if you guys saw the stat they flashed on the screen last night, but I've got it right here. Most goals in the NHL by a team since November 3rd.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's impressive. St. Louis Blues, 27 goals, second place, and this includes tonight. Florida Panthers at 25 and Pittsburgh Penguins as well. So for all the talk, that was the first week that I co-hosted the Puck podcast with Doug Stolhan. He asked me over under Blues finish 20. I think he said in the bottom third, bottom three teams of scoring this season in the NHL. And I said, absolutely not. They're going to go over that because I think they're just in a slump. I like this offense, and I stood by that throughout. I know you guys did too. When they were slumping, I said, they're going to break out of this. It's kind of to me, it was like a matter of percentages because it was like they're getting chances. They're just not going in the net. Yep. Eventually, that is going to change, and that's what we're seeing right now.
And you notice that they started shooting the puck more. Mm-hmm. And they still weren't getting the results right away, but then they started going in, right? Yep. So there was a conscious effort. It's like, hey, we're not getting enough pucks on net. That's just the bottom line. So they started shooting more, and their shot totals were going up. Still weren't getting the pucks to go in, but then eventually they started to go in. Law of averages, right? You just put more pucks on net. These are NHL players. They're going to find the back of the net. So next up for the Blues, we've got Thursday at San Jose, 9:30. Saturday at Los Angeles, 9:30. Sunday at Anaheim, 7 p.m. And next Wednesday at Arizona, 8 p.m. I guess we'll have to figure out when to do a show next week since they got a game on Wednesday.
And it is Thanksgiving. So
it is Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Gotta be Tuesday.
Gotta be Tuesday.
Yeah, it's
gotta be Tuesday.
Rapid fire tidbits.
Or let's do a drug show from Global Brew on Friday during the Blues game.
Sorry. During the game?
That could be fun. Yeah, it's an afternoon game.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2:00.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be at Global Brew in Edwardsville for their we go there every year for their
Bourbon
County release. Yeah.
I might join you guys this year.
Come on out. Bill and I and a handful of our friends, we come out there, and the girlfriends, the wives, they come out, and it's a good time, and we hang out there for hours. We're just we get something to eat there, and we get the flight of Bourbon County usually, so it's a good time. Bill, what's have you looked to see what the variants are this year?
It's been a couple of months. I'm gonna have to refresh on it.
Okay.
But I will say that this year I am not planning the last 4 or 5 years. I've gotten up at 6 a.m. Well, at 5 a.m.
to get some
to be in line at Dierberg's, and I've found a place that always has it much later in the day, so I'm gonna enjoy my sleeping in, and unfortunately this year I'm gonna have to work. So
Bill, announce it to the world. Where is this place you go?
None yet.
I don't think he wants to.
None.
But
okay, can you get? Oh man, you got me.
I think lunchtime is where we're going to start. We're going to show up at Global Brew. So get some beers, get some lunch, and hang out there for a while. I know I got to pick up my kids about 6, so I got to leave there about 5:30.
Just stop drinking.
So you got to stop drinking it too.
Stop drinking about 5:45.
I'll have Amy drive.
There you go.
Yeah. Or maybe
your kids aren't driving yet. What the hell?
Zoe's a couple years away, not too far, which is scary as hell. Rapid fire tidbits from around the NHL. Ryan O'Reilly played his 1,000th career game for Nashville. As it 12 games into the Predators season, they gave him a ceremony and honored him and presented him with gifts. I think they rose a banner.
Yeah, I'm sure they rose a banner. Yeah.
Rose a banner. It just seems weird after 12 games for his new team to go all out. I get it, I understand it, but it's just weird to me. He just played the 12 games, and they're all like honor him like he's been there for 10 years.
Right. No,
so
and especially the fact that he was with St. Louis, a rival, for many years, and then it's like, hey, and Colorado. Yeah, and it's like, hey, we're going to honor you after 12 games.
yeah. For playing for our rivals here, we're giving you all kinds of stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. But the Blues.
No, I have not watched the video, but I'm told there was a lot of former
Blues cameos
that were on it.
Yeah. And I'm sure the Blues will do something nice for him when the Predators come here.
Yep.
To honor that.
God, that's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
seeing
Real
him at center ice with a Predators jersey. You got to think Braden Shen will be involved. Obviously, Parayko, Binnington.
Sure.
But yeah, that's going to be so weird to see.
Devan Dubnyk, which was mentioned earlier in the show, on Binnington, he was on the Cam and Strick podcast. And they, near the end of the podcast, they asked him about Binnington and about the dust up in San Jose when Dubnyk played for the Sharks. When Binnington and Dubnyk kind of came together, and he said, I thought we were going to go. Here we go. And I watched, and anybody who's seen the video is like, no, that's not what that looked like at all.
I actually never thought they were going to fight.
No, because Dubnyk, okay. And
Dubnyk came at him and then skated instantly backward.
Yeah, they kind of came together, but nothing. And he just kind of called Binnington a clown. It's an act, he's just, he's like, and Binnington comes over towards his end of the ice to skate off, and he's skating at Dubnyk, and Dubnyk's like, comes out of the goal a little bit, and they come together, and he's like, get off the ice, you clown. But his comments here says that I thought we're going to go. Here we go. We're going to fight. I'm like, no, you did not think that at the time, because if you were going to fight, you would have fought him. And so for those who don't know, in San Jose, you have the goalie, there's no room on the bench. Plus the locker rooms are actually down. Like, you have to go across the ice. Right.
So when Binnington came out, he started to go off. And for those who didn't maybe see it, he had to pass by Dubnyk. And and I remember that we talked about it on this show. I remember us talking about that and just being like, did you ever think those two were actually going to fight? And it was Dubnyk, which, hey, I don't fault him for just being like, get the fuck off the ice.
Sure.
Get out of here. I have no problem with that. For him to come on this show years later and say this, like, oh, I was telling him, I thought we were going to fight. No one thought you were going to fight.
He had no intention of fighting Binnington. He said on the show, he goes, yeah, we came together, and then we were gonna fight, and then the referees got in the way. They separated. I'm like, that is not what happened.
That is not what happened.
If you wanted to fight,
you were out Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah,
sir.
That's what happened with Fleury.
Drop your trapper, drop your blocker, grab on and go. If you want to fight him, if you want to shut him up, if you think he's such a clown, and you think someone needs to hand it to him, do it. He's right there. He was right in your face. The referees weren't anywhere around. You could have dropped the gloves and fought him, and you didn't do jack shit. So shut up. You could have done something about it, and you didn't. So calling him a clown now after the fact is just it's a joke.
Yeah, and for him to just say it's an act, like, oh, it's an act. No, you clearly don't. Again, we've already talked about. He does it, we think, to kind of pump up his team a little bit. I mean, we've seen him, was it what game was that? When he skated by the bench and it was in St. Louis and he started doing this. He was like raising his arms in the air, trying to get the crowd to go nuts.
Yeah.
It's an act in that sense where he's just like, I'm doing this for my team. But if you challenge him, he's going to fight you. He's
fought before. He's fought before. He fought in the AHL.
Right. He fought in the A and in junior, I think. So
yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, it's not like NHL goalies are much tougher. No, I mean, not really.
If Dubnyk drops his shit, if he, like you said, even if he just pulls off a blocker and starts skating towards him, they're gonna fight, because there was other stuff going on the ice too. And I think there was only one linesman and one referee that were down there. They probably would have let them go. So for him to say that, like, oh, I thought we were going to fight, that's on you, bro. You were the one who was standing there. Yeah. If you start coming at him and you're dropping your shit, Binnington's going to follow suit and you guys are going to fight.
The whole problem I have with this is him saying that I thought we're going to go. Here we go. I'm like, no, that's not what happened. If you thought they were going to go, you should have went. He didn't go. And so, I mean, I'm going to
borrow. I don't know if you guys saw what Dubnyk looks like. I'm just going to borrow a line from the great Jim Schoenfeld and say, have another donut, Mr. Dubnyk.
He looked like he got stung by about 20 bees in the face before that interview.
Yeah. Talking shit, retired NHL goalie because nobody would sign him. He's talking about Binnington. He did say stuff like he's having a good season. He's a good goalie,
right?
Which is great. But
he respected him.
Basically,
he said respected him.
and then basically to
and
say
then calls
like,
him a
his
clown.
antics and no, fuck you, dude.
How do you respect somebody and also call him a clown in the same breath? How does that work?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I just don't like the fact that he acted like he was going to fight him, and that wasn't the case at all.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to fight him, you should have fought him. You had the opportunity right there.
I would love, and I don't think he would ever do this, and I think the Blues would be pissed at him. I would love, after this interview, if Binnington would just come out and be like, hey, how about a celebrity boxing match? Me and you, Dubnyk, let's do it. I would fucking love that, because Dubnyk would, oh, shit, now I'm going to have to ring the bell.
Well, and Dubnyk said, I'm not a fighter. But neither is Binnington's not a fighter either. I mean, he's not a tough guy. He's probably 150 pounds soaking wet. But I don't know. He's skinny. He's not an intimidating guy.
He's got reach. That's it.
He's got reach.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and my whole thing this whole time is like, people have a problem with Binnington's antics once in a while. That's fine. But if instead of bitching and whining about it whenever you're asked about it, fucking do something about it on the ice. He's out there almost every game, and sometimes there's a dust up a little bit, pushing, shoving. Do something about it. No one ever has.
I'm telling you, not even just a goalie. I think if any fucking player skates up to Binnington and it's a heated game and they say, hey, next whistle, drop your shit, let's go. I really think Binnington would be like, yeah, okay, let's do it. But no one has clearly done that yet.
Matt Harris, the comment of the season, probably.
Yeah, there it is.
Dubnyk looks like he eats corn the long way.
Oh shit!
That's pretty good.
I got something for you. You know what? You deserve this, Matt Harris.
I was going to say, congratulations! You just won yourself in Austin.
Yeah, no, I'm going to give you. I don't know if you care about fanny packs, but this is a Blues Pride fanny pack.
Nice.
I'm going to give it to you because, Matt, that was awesome. Please send me your address. I think I already have it, but send it again anyway.
And I'm sure Dubnyk's a nice guy. I just think he's stupid about this whole thing. So, a man, in quotes, was arrested in the death of a hockey player whose neck was cut with a skate blade during a game. Have you guys noticed that these articles after this arrest, because they didn't release the guy's name they arrested, it's always like a man, and police didn't release the name of the guy they arrested. Everyone knew who this is.
It was the Zamboni driver.
Yes, it was the Zamboni driver.
No, it was the guy who sharpened Petgrave's skates.
That was the AP's.
Oh, see, now you're going to be called. You're going to be called to the witness stand in Nottingham for giving away the name of the man.
So
if they give me a free trip to Nottingham, I'm in. I'll be there.
So I think most of us, and I think the response on social media for this was pretty unanimous in the kind of like shock that, they arrested him for this. The article goes on to say the police in England arrested a man Tuesday on suspicion of manslaughter in the death of American ice hockey player Adam Johnson, whose neck was cut by a skate during a game. But I haven't seen a single news outlet say that to question someone in England, you may be arrested for questioning. Because in England, police are allowed to arrest a suspect if they believe it is necessary for the investigation. They don't have to have charges against you to arrest you. It's a different kind of process. So they arrested him so they can question him.
In a way, it's bringing him in for questioning.
In a way. They can do that without arresting him, but if they feel it's necessary for the investigation to arrest somebody, to question them properly, they can arrest somebody. So it's not like they think he's guilty of anything, like he's being charged with. He's not charged with anything, and he was arrested on Tuesday for the suspicion of manslaughter. I think that wording is key. They're not charging him with manslaughter. He's suspected. That's the question. Was it on purpose? Was it a malicious act? And so they just had some questions for him and they arrested him. They can hold him for up to 24 hours in that case. But
you know who the judge is going to be on this, right?
Judge Houston.
No, I was going to say Sir Robin of Nottingham.
It would be rare, but not unprecedented, for a hockey player to be charged. Can't pronounce this guy's first name. Giacinto Boney was charged.
Where are we seeing this?
It's in the notes here. It'd be rare, but not unprecedented. Jim Boney was charged in Italy with culpable homicide after he slashed Miran Schrodt in the chest during a game on January 14th, 1992, and Schrodt died as a result of the cardiac event. Boney pleaded guilty to manslaughter. And, of course, the two famous incidents in the NHL, Todd Bertuzzi pleading guilty to assaulting Steve Moore on the ice in 2004, and in 2000, Martin McSorley slashed Donald Bashir in the head and was convicted on assault charges. So the difference here being that the act in the acts in the NHL and the one on Boney were intentional, obviously. The Adam Johnson incident really appears to be accidental in a way. So I don't know.
Well, I think that's the argument.
Yeah, right.
Was it accidental?
Yeah, did he throw his leg out to impede progress of Johnson? And is that act in itself manslaughter?
That is
because
and that's the thing. Like when I saw this, and I think everyone kind of responded the same way. Like, I don't know. Like that's such a hard thing to answer. Yeah. Now I think everyone's in agreement. He didn't try to kill him.
No,
this wasn't an intentional.
Now, if he did
murder,
if they
that
could
would
prove
be murder
that,
one.
That'd be murder. Yeah,
yeah.
Manslaughter
murder
is
one.
Murder is the result of a
manslaughter.
death based on your actions, whether you weren't intending to kill somebody.
So it's like, again, somebody brought up Alec Baldwin. What happened with him? He was brought in for questioning on manslaughter, because he did not intentionally do it, but
negligence.
If he was in play.
Yeah, if he was negligent, that's the question.
So I think it's the same here. It's just, again, different, like you said, different process in England than we see here in the U.S. and I believe in Canada as well. But, man, I got to say, I don't know. And I said this in the Puck podcast because Doug Strollhan was one of those people who refuses to watch anything like this, which I do not blame him because it's, if you guys have seen it, right? It's
no, I've refused to watch it.
I have
one of those
seen it
too. Okay,
and that's fine, but the video is blurry. You can't really see anything until it's from a distance. It's blurry, and you can see the blood on the ice coming out pretty heavily.
It's bad.
Yeah, but again, it's not like it's gory where it's close up. You can tell what's going on, but you think, oh, that's blood. But it's blurry and from a distance, and it's not like it's turn your stomach kind of a thing. It's just, oh my god,
right? But I mean, it's the fact that what the result of it was is what makes it difficult to watch. So I totally get people not wanting to watch it, but I will say from what I saw, it was very negligent by Matt Petgrave, and I guess that to me is the question in itself: is that negligence? Is that worthy of him getting charged with manslaughter, or is it just negligence by a hockey player in a hockey play? That's the question.
I think we've talked about this, and I think we're of the agreement that it's a real possibility that he likely, when he got hit and kind of spun sideways, he saw Johnson over there with the puck kind of going around him, and he wanted to get a piece of him.
Yep.
And his leg was flying around, and he may have, I don't know, intentionally tried to hit Johnson with his leg. I don't know. I could see that based on the replay, but it's hard to tell intent. If he says he didn't, you can't prove based on the video, in my opinion, that he tried to impede his progress. But I can see where he may have thought to do that in a bang situation.
My issue with it is that I've played ice hockey for as long as I can remember. And again, maybe I'm not thinking clearly here, but my skate has never come up that high in any situation. And now, having said that, there's always the discombobulation of when you're cutting across, you're trying to get better positioning on a player with the puck. And so, you kind of get hit by someone you weren't expecting, and your body kind of flies and flails a little bit. So I don't want to say that that's completely impossible, that my skates never come up that high, but it certainly came up higher than you would expect a skate to come up in a situation like what we saw on that exact play.
There was a compilation someone put together to somebody online who said that skates never come up that high, and they come up that high a lot. It's just in the NHL when higher speeds, players go flying around. There was an incident last night where a player was hitting the side of the face with a skate that was so close to being terrible. But I think more the side of the boot than the
on that specific play. I just can't see why his skate came up that high. I mean, but again, is that just negligence of a hockey player not being aware of his surroundings, or is it negligence in a criminal sense?
I mean, that's
the issue.
So to me, and again, I have not seen the play, but to me, this is just law enforcement being very procedural, being by the books. There's enough gray area that they want to make sure that they conduct the inquiries, they go through the process, and determine if there is enough to actually bring charges. And I'd be surprised. I think based on what I've heard of the description, that it's unless he were to admit in an interview that there was intent or even previous animosity between he and Johnson, I don't see that there's going to be enough there to charge him.
I agree.
And I don't want to speculate. I brought this up in our group chat, but the other thing that, I haven't seen any talk about, but, if there's any, if you don't expect hockey players to be under the influence of foreign of narcotics or anything, but if he's got painkillers or something in him at that point, is that going to contribute to the negligence that could lead to a homicide charge?
That's
right.
A great point.
And I think that's why you have to go through the process, right? As to conduct a thorough investigation, you want to leave all avenues open, and you want to make sure you're going through and asking all the questions. And to me, that's what I think's been demonstrated at this point, that they are trying to do that as thoroughly as possible.
This would, if they were to convict him of manslaughter, eventually it goes to trial, that would set an interesting precedent for future incidences involving, something like this, where, proving intent. Obviously, the McSorley and Brashear, obvious intent. It's a baseball swing right at his head. Bertuzzi on Moore, obvious with the intent. Bertuzzi actively grabs the jersey and hits him, punches him in the side of the head from behind. It's obvious. Now, this is a completely different animal, and so there are skates that come up on players. It's happened, a handful of times, and I don't know if you convict the guy. That's I don't know.
Right, without an admission or overwhelming evidence.
Yeah, right.
That's why I don't think they're some animosity, or that he was completely fucking tanked on something.
Yeah,
right. That you're not going to bring charges,
or if there was something maybe said like the Steve Moore situation, where maybe the coach said, "Hey, first guy to take out that Johnson guy, I'm giving you $100 bonus." But
didn't the teammates? I haven't read any quotes specifically, but I heard the teammates came out in defense that it was an accident.
Right? Everyone at the rink has. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that would have been said back and forth between those two players would have been heard by other members of the teams, and that's something that they would know about. So I don't. If that wasn't heard, then I think this is you just have to chalk it up as an accident, whether or not it was. Unless you can prove otherwise, which I don't think you can. I don't think you can't prove this. I don't think.
Right. Without an admission.
Right.
You're not going to prove intent in this scenario.
Yep. That's all we got, gentlemen's. for this episode.
Let's hope the Blues keep rolling. We got some big games coming up here. They had some rough games coming up against Tampa and Colorado, and they breezed through those. So let's see what they do against in this California trip.
Yeah, I mean the San Jose game. I mean, it's interesting. You look at that's winnable, right? The Kings are playing well, so that'll be a tough one. It's always a tough game against the Kings, it seems like. So
right, and then get that back to back with not even 24 hours later going down to Anaheim. That's always a trap game for this team.
Yep.
And then you got
Anaheim got shelled tonight by Colorado too.
Yeah, was it 5-2?
8-2.
8-2. Jeez.
Yeah.
5-2.
Colorado exercised the demons from Saturday night.
Yes, they did.
They had to even out that goal differential.
Yep.
And then we got Arizona next week on Wednesday we talked about, and then Black Friday, Nashville. So 2 p.m. start.
So I would say expect a show from us Tuesday, probably.
Yeah, Tuesday probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Tuesday sounds like the pick day.
Do
for
a
us.
Thanksgiving show. We could all eat our turkey and talk about Blues.
That wouldn't work for me.
Yeah,
me neither.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure multiple people would kill me if I did that. Because I'd be like, "Hey, mother-in-law, mother and wife, not coming to Thanksgiving this year, so I can do a podcast."
Yeah, I would be doing it from my car because I will be driving all over God's creation on
Me too.
Thursday.
That's Thursday. Thanksgiving that's a day for us where it's a lot of travel between St. Louis and St. Charles County.
Okay, support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockandthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockandthatidlife.com and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockandthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you, and by Mike Burgoyne from Real Brokerage Realty. Give Mike a call today at 314-753-4060 for all of your home buying and selling needs. That's 314-753-4060. And by Center Ice Brewery, St. Louis's tasty hockey-themed beer. Check out your local beer vendors for availability. That's Center Ice Brewery beer. Please drink responsibly. That'll wrap up episode 6 of season 13 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder, Bill Day, and Austin Lynch, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues. Dubnyk can suck it.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.